Hello, Watching Your Move Merman, and I'm back. And today I've got 3 films to talk to you about today, as we're going to dig into a new universe that's been begun a couple of years ago. So that's an interesting one for you. We're going to talk about the Poohniverse today. So today we're going to talk about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We're going to talk about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. And we're going to talk about Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Alright, before we go any further, I'm going to take the plastic off of these 3. So let's do that first. Here's the first one. Core. That's what she said. Here's the second one. Wow, that's what she said. And here's the third one. God, it should have been a lot easier to get that off. That's what she said. Alright, so here's the first one then. This is the beginning of the Poohniverse. These are the first 3 films, 2 Winnie the Poohs and a Peter Pan. I believe they're doing Bambi this year, Bambi the Reckoning. I also know there is a Pinocchio Unstrung on the way as well as a bunch of other films too, because they're building up to the ultimate Poohniverse movie, which is going to have all of the characters in it as well. So I'm really interested to see where that's going to go. But we're going to start with this film. So Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the first one. There's the back cover, the first one for you, and let's have a look at the inside. Cool, you got a wild Blu-ray on the side there. Just so you're aware, the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is probably one of the shittest films you're ever going to see in your life. Features some of the worst acting ever and the worst idea for a story ever. But you know, everyone was interested when it came out because they were like, how's a horror film about Winnie the Pooh gonna work? And for some reason it made loads of money because everyone watched it. Even though everyone watched it and saw how shit it was, it made loads of money. So then, do you know what they did? They made a sequel, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Now, this film is still not very good, I'll tell you that now, but it's 5 million times better than the first one. There's the back cover of the second one for you. And inside here, you've got a nice Blu-ray in there as well. Don't know if I mentioned, but Ethan got all 3 of these for my birthday, so that was really nice of him, wasn't it? Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 is a lot better. Like I said, it's a lot better than the first one, but it's still not that great. They worked a little bit more on it. They spent a bit more on it, which you can tell from the beginning that they spent a bit more on it. It's a lot more enjoyable, this one. The acting is better than the first one. I mean, to be fair, acting in adverts is better than the first film. Acting in porn is better than the first film. So think how bad that acting is going to be in the first one. Don't go into the first one expecting it to be very good. Don't go into this one expecting it to be very good, but this is definitely better than the first one. And then we move on to this one, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. There's the back cover of that for you. Let's have a look at the inside of this. Cool, another standard Blu-ray in there too. When you watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, there's a lot of, I felt like a lot of the story side of it was more about Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Piglet killing people, and how creatively they could get these kills on screen, and how creatively they could get these lovable characters from the past to just kill people off. And they didn't really focus much on the story and what was going on with the characters and stuff like that. So from that side of things, Winnie the Pooh kind of failed. But from like the violence and, you know, the killing people off kind of scale of things, I'd say the second one at least was quite successful. When you get to this one, however, it felt like they kind of tipped the scales in the other direction. Don't get me wrong, this is an 18 for a reason. and there were still some really good kills in here. There's some really good deaths in here, but I felt like with this one they spent a lot more time focusing on the story. They spent a lot more time focusing on the characters. Don't get me wrong, the acting still isn't top notch, but it's a step up from those two. So I quite look forward to seeing what they do with Bambi and Pinocchio. But I think they spent a lot more time focusing on the story with this. They spent a lot more time focusing on the characters and developing the characters, and you actually cared about some of the characters in this. And like the way it was done just really impressed me overall. I really enjoyed this, to be fair. I think it's one of the reasons why Ethan got it for me, because I bought it on Google Play and I really liked it, and it had just come out physically as well, so Ethan got all three of them for me for my birthday, so it's quite nice. Thanks, Ethan. But yeah, I look forward to seeing where else the Poohniverse goes, and the Poohniverse assembled movies, or whatever they've called it. It's blatantly just a rip-off of the Avengers, what they're doing with the Poohniverse. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I look forward to seeing what's coming, because they look like they've actually put some thought into some of this, so let's hope it pays off well. So that's all I had to talk to you about today. There's a link for my book that I wrote. I wrote a book, if you guys didn't know that, or if you haven't seen any of my videos recently. I wrote a book, so if you guys would like to click on the link in this description and purchase my book, I'd really appreciate that. That would be really nice. Be nice for a bit of support, so thank you in advance. But I'm going to go now, so if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'm going to fuck off. Okay, goodbye.